Ridge Lovett, thank you so much for joining me. Now you are a national champion, the first one in 14 years for Nebraska. You're in the same sentence as Jordan Burroughs, the last guy to do that. Anytime you're in the same sentence as him, that's a pretty good thing, right?
It's awesome. It's always a good thing.
What was so important about this season for you to be able to accomplish that goal and, live out a lifelong dream for you?
Yeah, being in college, I've been close a few times, right? I made the finals once. I lost in the semis. And, this was my last year, so it was finally being able to get over that hump, it felt pretty good.
Yeah, how much sweeter did that make it, knowing that you've been to the same exact tournament, lost in the finals, and then also lost in the semifinals before? Just how much more gratifying did that make it?
It was good. And beating the kid that beat me the year before in the semis, it made it even better.
Yeah.
Getting that one back, evening up the series, it was good.
I want to just go through the whole series of events. You lay on the mat, you kind of put your hands on your head, and you just soak in a moment there. What was running through your mind after you knew that you won?
Yeah, it was just I finally did it. It's been a goal since I was little to win an NCAA title. The goal is to win 4, but one's pretty good too. But it was just I finally did it. Lots of emotions going through, but I don't know, really just happiness and gratitude.
Can we talk about the dancing off the stage too?
Oh,
was that planned or what went down?
Yeah, they started playing my walkout song. I was walking off, Pretty Boy Swag, so I was just dancing a little bit. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And then you get to embrace your family and your sister. How much have they meant to you in your journey?
A lot. My dad was my first wrestling coach. My mom was full-time taxi driver, driving us from this sport to here to there. And my sister, she actually wrestled for a little bit because we'd be going all over the country, going to all these wrestling tournaments. She was like, if I'm going to keep having to go to these, I'm going to do something. So she started wrestling for a little bit, but it was cool getting to have them be there again and walking off the stage with a W this time.
Mm-hmm. I heard that when you were 2 or 3, you started wrestling, and your parents would be like, oh, no, he's 4. He can wrestle in this.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I started wrestling when I was 2, but I was too small to wrestle with the other kids, so I would do the moves on a teddy bear. I would just practice, just learning how to do it. And then once I was 3, I was almost 4, but they were like, yeah, you can wrestle, it'll be fine. Mm-hmm. So I went and wrestled this freestyle tournament and got my butt kicked.
How early was that instilled in you with wrestling? Who made that possible in your life?
My dad.
Yeah.
He was coaching before I was even born. And then once I was, in the practice room walking around and stuff, I was I want to do this. I see all the kids running around, so I would run around with them in the circle. I would do the warm-ups, and then he'd be like, all right, go sit on the side. And I'd just be walking around, getting in the way. So then they started bringing a teddy bear, and it was yeah. I was I can do this. This is good stuff.
So when did you realize this is what I want to do for my career?
Probably for my career, that didn't come until later in high school when I was yeah, I can really do this. But I knew that all I wanted to do was wrestle when I was in probably 3rd grade. Mm-hmm. 3rd grade was when I started winning a bunch, and I was oh yeah, this is good stuff.
This is fun. Tell me about growing up in Idaho. What was the wrestling scene like there? Where did you fit in and find your love for wrestling in that state?
Well, a big part of it was that I was just so competitive, and all I wanted to win at everything. I was a sore loser. I would the whole thing. And when I won a lot when I wrestled, I was yeah, I'm really good at this. I like this. I like winning. It's only me out there, so it's I'm winning. It's not me and the team are winning. I was winning. But I went to a wrestling school. My freshman, sophomore, junior year, we were ranked in the top 50 in the country. We won 3 state titles when I was in high school. We set the all-time state scoring record my junior year. My team was real good. We had a lot of success when we were in high school. And then Chris Owens was the former Boise State head assistant coach. And then after they cut that program, he took over Idaho youth, high school, and youth wrestling. So just getting to go down there and train with him a bunch. I made a world team. I got to travel to Greece. So then it was I started traveling doing it, and I was this is good stuff.
How was your recruiting journey? How many schools reached out? Who all were you talking with?
So my big 3 were Nebraska, Oklahoma State, North Carolina State. That was the year NC State had just taken 3rd or 4th the year before they won a team trophy. So, they were cool. And Adam Hall was from Idaho, and he was an assistant coach there. He's the head at UVU now. But Oklahoma State was cool too. John Smith came to my house. He that was the GOAT.
Yeah.
I was this is crazy. John Smith is sitting on my couch. But yeah, it was Nebraska almost from the start.
Mm-hmm.
I came on my unofficial visit right after Fargo. I hit like 7 or 8 schools. And I came here, and it was Alex Thompson, Peyton Robb, Javon, Anthony. Like, we were all hanging out, and I was like, I like these dudes. These kids are cool. And then once I came out on my official, like, I already knew some of the guys, and I was like, yeah, this is a good spot. And plus, everything here is, the facilities are fantastic.
What stood out the most about Mark Manning?
He's super personable, right? Like, you guys were just talking to him, you know. But he's just easygoing, but he's also a good coach, you know. Like, he knows when to pick it up a notch, but then, like, outside of the room, he's not, like, on you the whole time. Like, he can be your friend. He's not a coach that's always going to be, like, on top of you. Like, sometimes we go over there for dinner, and we're just chatting, chopping it up. Everyone else goes home, and we'll be sitting on the couch watching TV, just talking for, like, 2 hours. So just that he's someone that you can talk to.
I mean, he said it before publicly too, but you could have gone in the transfer portal and made a lot of money elsewhere, but you decided to stay at Nebraska. Why?
You know, it was even something that I thought about. It was like, I could go make a bunch of money, but, like, I wouldn't want to do my senior year anywhere else. Like, if I won a national title somewhere else, I'm not going to want to go down on the football field there and, like, go get my ring and stuff. It's like, that's all stuff that I've been here for 5 years. Like, I wanted to finish it here. Like, doing my senior year speech at a different school at the banquet, like, it just wouldn't have felt right, you know? So that was a big part of why I wanted to stay, and it was like, I felt that I was a big part of, like, what we had built here, and I wanted to finish it out with my guys.
I mean, 6 years. That's a long college career.
That's a long time.
Do you look at these freshmen, you're like, you could be my little brother?
Yeah.
Do you guys can you even relate to these kids coming in?
I mean, yeah. Like, we're all in here doing the same stuff every day, but, like, my roommate, like, we'll be talking sometimes, and usually it comes down to, like, music. I'll be like, whatever, we'll be talking about a song. I was like, bro, my freshman year, this song was going stupid. He was like, you were a freshman, you were in high school when this came out? He's like, bro, I was in elementary school. When were you born? He's like, 2005. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's wild.
I know. How much have you grown when you think back to your freshman self?
A lot. When I got here, I was a baby. And I moved out to Lincoln like 2 days after high school graduation. It was 2 days after graduation, boom, I was out of the house and gone. And I mean, I've been back like here and there throughout the 6 years. Mainly during COVID, I got to go home for a couple months during COVID, but usually it's like Christmas, I'm home, a couple weeks during the summer, maybe Thanksgiving, and like that's it. So, you know, I kind of had to figure out how to be a grown-up on my own pretty quick.
And find a new home here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I mean, how much does this place mean to you, and how hard is it going to be to leave?
Well, I don't plan on leaving yet, but it's a cool spot. It's definitely like my home away from home now. Like, even when I go back home, it's like, it almost feels like I just need to be back in Lincoln. And it's also weird because, like, when I go places, like, in Lincoln, like, people recognize me. But if I go out when I'm at home, unless, like, I went to high school with them, it's like nobody cares. Nobody says anything. Just walking by, I'll be like, well, hey. But, like, here, like, if I go to Shields, run into someone, hey, can we take a picture? I'm like, yeah, for sure, bro. A couple weeks ago, I was out to eat with my girlfriend, and, like, 10 kids came up to the table and were like, can we take a picture? And we got barbecue sauce all over my face. I'm like, yeah, like, give me a second, bro. But, you know, it's different. Yeah. It's different.
So has your life changed since becoming a national champion?
Not really. I think I can make a little more money doing camps and stuff, but, I mean, it's right back to work. I just got out of practice. There's new goals to accomplish.
Yeah. What are those new goals for you?
Making world teams. Yeah. I'm trying to make a couple world teams, Olympic teams, do that stuff, maybe win some world and Olympic medals.
There you go. When you think back to your younger self, would he believe that you'd be in this position?
Absolutely. Yeah. He thought he would have won more national titles than I did. But, you know, I accomplished a bunch of those goals, so I'm happy with where I got.
I mean, you've been at this since you were 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What's motivated you along this way?
Just love for the sport, love to compete, love to get better, and just love to win. Just keep it going.
Yeah. Antrell Taylor, another guy that loves to win, and he secures a national title right after you. I know you didn't exactly get to watch it because you were in your interviews afterwards, but how happy were you for him when you did get to embrace him and enjoy that moment with him?
It was awesome because I got to see like the last half of the third period. And then right afterwards, I ran up on the stage, and all the people in my weight went and got on the podium. So I dapped them up. I'm like, go work, boy, you did it. Then I had to take off running to go get on the podium. But it's like, you know, we're in the room every single day together. We're grinding, scrapping. Like, me and Trelly freaking go at it sometimes in there. And just to see that, like, iron really does sharpen iron. Like, we got it done. Yeah. It's awesome.
I mean, for everything that he's been through in his life, too, the adversity he's faced, the loss of his brother and his father, how much more do you think that just meant to see him accomplish that goal that he's been working for his entire life as well?
Yeah, like, a lot of people go through hard things, and I think that Trelly can be a light for those people. Like, knowing that what he's been through, the things that have happened to him in his life, and still being able to stay focused and accomplish his goals. He's going to get a degree here soon, national champ. Like, just because, like, things go wrong, because a lot of things are going to go wrong. Hopefully not as bad as they have with him, but I think that he can really be a light for people who go through tough times to show that you can persevere through and still accomplish your goals.
One of the things I think stood out to me in your post-match interview was you talked about how some guys are facing the biggest heartbreak, but they're still celebrating you, and they're still celebrating Antrell and all the wins. But how special is this group of guys here, and just the culture and the family that's been built here by Mark Manning and you guys?
It's fantastic. It's hard to do. It's hard to build a culture like the one we have. Having kids who are dedicated to each other as well as themselves, that's probably the biggest thing, because wrestling is an individual sport, but, like, it can be the most team-oriented sport, because your direct performance determines the outcome. Like, if we don't win, we don't get any points. So, it's something that we worked really hard to do, and we finally got it done, and hopefully we can keep that going.
Yeah, I mean, a runner-up finish, the best finish in history for this program. Why do you think it was a specific group to accomplish that?
I think that we all had faith in each other, and, Brock was a big part of that with the wrestling is fun thing. And Tervel with just always telling us, he's like, surrender the outcome. Like, if you win or lose, you can't really control it. You can, like, effort and attitude. If you go in and you're like, I'm willing to try as hard as I can. I'm going to go all out the entire time. I'm going to leave it all out there. Then what happens, happens. And a lot of times if you're willing to do that, because, like, going and wrestling as hard as you can is scary. Because, like, I'm going to get tired. Wrestling, it always hurts. It's not always super fun. But if you're willing to go out there and put all your effort out there and you have a good attitude about it, a lot of good things will happen. And that's something that this team's been able to do really well, is to go out there, do their best, surrender the outcome, and then we all have faith in each other. Like, if I slip up, I have Antrell Taylor right behind me. He's going to pick it back up. Then Tofi, Len, Silas, all those guys will get it back going again. So I think it allows us to wrestle free, to compete freely, just less stress. And something that I tell a lot of people, it's like, I'm not risking anything more than I was when I was 3 or 4. You either win a wrestling match or you lose a wrestling match. There's a lot more people watching. It's on ESPN now. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you either win a wrestling match or you lose a wrestling match. So it's like, just put it in different perspectives. It just makes it easier to go out there and compete freely.
I asked Coach Manning just what's next for this program. I mean, he's been at this for 25 years. What's the next goal he wants to accomplish? And, of course, he brings up
team title. Yeah. Got to beat Penn State.
And just that gap between Nebraska and Penn State, how much smaller is it now, and how soon can you foresee that being completely closed?
Yeah, Penn State's tough. They do a really good job. They're getting kids from outside the U.S. now. They just picked up a world champ from Japan on their team. So, like, it's tough to keep catching up to that, but I think we're in a good spot. And, like, even in the duel, like, team score wasn't super close, but the individual match scores were all super, super close. So it's just figuring out how to squeak out those tight, tough matches, and then that score will close quick. So I really don't think it's that far. Yeah. And they were saying that this was the best Penn State team ever. They've had a lot of good teams. They were saying this year's team was the best team that they've ever had. It's like, if that was the best ever, well, okay.
I mean, you guys got 6 All-Americans returning, so this team is about to be really good next year as well. What do you see for the future of this program?
I see a lot more team trophies coming. Which I'm really happy that we finally got one, that I finally got one while I was here, but hopefully we set a standard and we can keep that going.
How about the fans, too, and the growth that you've seen with that? Mark Manning said that they're going to implement a student section next year, and I know you guys do pack out the Bob, too, but how much more support have you felt with the years that have gone by? Obviously, the TV deals help, and just more exposure for the sport.
I could definitely tell. COVID, right after COVID, it was weird, but like Iowa and Penn State would always be popping in there. It would always be pretty deep, but even like for all the duels now, it was a lot more. And we were out this weekend, and I was talking to someone, and they were telling me that they would sell like gear and stuff at the duels. He was like, we went from selling like $1,000 a night to like $4,000 to $5,000 every single duel. He was like, the stuff that you guys are selling has like tripled, quadrupled, and it's just like, yeah, that's awesome. The more people are coming in, more people are supporting, and just because that's really what's gonna help make it take off, I think.
I mean, you're a big part of that too, a national champion. That helps so much to bring
Absolutely.
exposure and just love to this program and in Nebraska in general. How happy does it make you for the legacy that you're leaving at Nebraska and just seeing what you've been able to accomplish here?
I don't know. I'm happy about it. Hopefully I get in the Hall of Fame someday. That'd be sweet. But finally being able to be up there on the wall with Jordan and those guys, and need to get on this other wall. We have world champs, world team members on one wall, national champs on the other side, so I need to get on that other wall. But I'm happy with how I left this place. I think it's better than the way I found it, and I would hope that would be my legacy, that I was like a culture changer and team builder. Other than like everything else is cool, but I want to feel like I really changed the program.
Yeah, that's my final question to you, Ridge, is just how do you want people to remember the name Ridge Lovett when they look back at the record books and see your picture up there?
Yeah, I want them to think that I was a big part of the reason that we finally got a team trophy. Like, outside of the points that I scored at the tournament, that I helped boost the culture, help build up my teammates, and kind of help change Nebraska from where it was to where we are now.
Yeah. Well, you've definitely done that. So, Ridge, thank you so much for your time today, and congratulations on an amazing career. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.